all heard the stories. Alien beings travel light years to Earth, single out human specimens, perform painful experiments, and return the damaged goods. It all started 30 years ago when a young couple went for a drive.
It's right over my right. God, what is it? God, I'm scared. I gotta get my gun. I gotta get my gun!
The Hill case, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the flagship or the granddaddy case of UFO abduction cases.
I don't know, it will hurt. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm crying and I tell her it's hurting, take it out.
This case gave us a real chance to expand the whole notion of what this flying saucer stuff is all about.
It's been 35 years since that fateful evening in September of 1961. Her husband Barney has long since passed on, but Betty Hill still vividly remembers that night.
Barney and I are returning from a vacation trip. We left Montreal and headed down through the mountains, when all of a sudden I discovered a new star in the sky. And as I watched, it became bigger and brighter. Then it began to move.
The Hills watched in fascination as the star moved closer and closer.
As it came out over the highway and stopped, we looked up and we could see a curved picture window, a red light on each side. So Barney took the binoculars to get out of the car to try to identify this craft.
The UFO moved toward Barney and stopped.
And he could see a group of men standing in the window looking down at him. And at that moment he became fearful. He had the impression they were trying to capture him.
Barney ran to the car and they raced back down the desolate road.
We tried to tell ourselves that this experience had been a dream. I had dreamed it, and in some way I had transmitted my dream to Barney, so he thought it was his reality.
But when the couple returned home, they discovered that their dream was really a nightmare. Barney realized that there were 2 hours of missing time. They found strange circular marks on the trunk of their car. Both of their watches had stopped working, and Betty's dress was torn and covered with a mysterious pink substance.
Somehow we just had a feeling of contamination. So I said to Barney, this sounds weird, and I don't know why I'm saying it. We've been touched. Somehow we've been touched.
Stanton Friedman, nuclear physicist and UFO investigator, has researched hundreds of abduction cases.
In the Hill case, what was particularly impressive was the quality of the people. Betty is a social worker. You have Barney, who's on the Governor's Civil Rights Commission, and you have Dr. Benjamin Simon, who pretty much wrote the book on treating people who'd had stressful situations. We're not talking about amateur hypnotists. We're not talking about parlor games here.
You're about to hear the actual hypnosis sessions, tape recorded by Dr. Benjamin Simon. Barney and Betty's sessions were conducted separately, but their stories matched exactly. The recordings were made over a 3-month period.
You go deeper and deeper, deeper asleep. You will not be anxious or distressed, but you will remember everything, and you will tell me everything.
Yes. Looks like a big pancake with rows of windows and lights. This creature, this leader is telling me something. Just stay there, he's saying to me. It's
all right.
I'll dig in my head. Just
all right.
Pull the binoculars away. God, give me strength.
All right.
Pull them down. Run! If there's my God, give me strength. I gotta get away.
Betty remembers being taken from the car.
The car motor died. The car stalled. And the medic coming towards us. And he said, don't be afraid. We're not going to harm you. We just want to do some tests, and they're taking me up to the object. Now, I don't want to go on it. I don't know what's going to happen if I go on it. I don't want to go. There's a room, and they start to take me in the room, and the examiner unzips my dress off. And so I don't have my dress or my shoes on.
I was laying on the table, and I thought, are they putting a cup around my private parts? And they're telling me I don't have to be afraid.
Betty underwent a procedure described by the aliens as a pregnancy test. This test was similar to amniocentesis, a procedure unheard of in 1961.
The examiner has a long needle. It's bigger than any needle I've ever seen. And he sticks a needle into my nail. And I'm crying, and I tell him it's hurting, take it out.
Finished with their tests, Betty and Barney were released and allowed to return to their car. After completing Dr. Simon's hypnosis therapy, their story got out. A media frenzy began, and the Hills were instant celebrities.
Well, we became known almost immediately. Like Barney and I would go out to eat, and people would come up and ask for an autograph. I recognized immediately what was happening. I was the only person on this planet who had absolute proof that life existed in space.
For the first time ever, Betty Hill agrees to show our camera crew the dress she wore on the night of her abduction. The garment is Betty's last remaining piece of evidence, and the pink substance from the abduction is still there.
And you can see here the blue, and this is where it became stained by the pink powdery substance. This is a place I cut out and sent it to a lab. They were unable to analyze it. They have no idea what caused the pink stain.
Today, Betty Hill speaks with and meets contactees from all over the world.
Yes.
Since her own paranormal experience, she has devoted her life to helping other victims of abduction. In fact, she's written a book, A Common Sense Approach to UFOs.
There's a lot we can learn from UFOs. And they're here, whether we like it or not, and they're no danger. And there's no reason to be afraid. Whenever I go out at night, I look for UFOs because they're so common. This is New Hampshire. The UFOs are always flying around here. The only way to not see them is don't look at the sky.
Although the whole abduction phenomenon sounds far-fetched, over 8 million Americans now claim they've been abducted. I don't pretend to know what's going on here, but clearly, something is.